Hi. If you are stuck, you made it because some of your stagnancy maybe can be explained and answered. Most of the reason why many of us are stuck, the most highest one on the list, is the fact that we're wearing way too many costumes. Why are we wearing too many costumes? Because we're performative, we're performing. So you gotta put on this costume for this person, and the costumes are not even yours. You're actually recycling somebody's costumes that is not yours. So the question then remains, what is stopping you from creating the costume that is yours, that you do not have to take the mask off for? Because when you're masking, you're putting on the costume by masking yourself, and you are putting this persona that's not yours, which is why it's making you stuck, because deep down you know you're not supposed to behave like this person, because you are uniquely, even in your genetic sequencing, you are different for multiple reasons. By wearing the mask and having so many of these costumes, you're actually fatiguing and draining yourself, because it takes so much energy to maintain those characters that are not yours. But it's actually effortless to just be yourself. So when you can get to a place where you're brave enough to just be as yourself, you're not performative, you're not having to audition to breathe in a space that you know damn well that you're not supposed to be in. Guess what? You're gonna get to a place where you're coming as yourself, because one thing that will never make you fall short, one thing you'll never fall short for, is you being yourself. You actually have infinite expressions, infinite greatness that is waiting for you to reach out to. Like when you're stagnant, I always say that's your sign to grow. When you're stuck, that's your sign to grow, because a lot of people are saying the phone is making us obsessed, this is that. No, you are the driver. The driver is in charge. You are the one that tells the phone what to do. You're not meant to be attached to it, because what it's doing is actually creating more distance from you and your actual self. The more you focus on the outside, the greater the distance increases. So if you just cut the middleman, whether it's a phone, whether it's anything that's making you distract, the costumes, the mask, you get to meet with yourself, and you get to expand in whatever that looks like for you, because you have your own callings. Deliberately, you're meant to fulfill that. Whatever expands you, whatever energizes you, is what you're meant to be living, not a costume, not looking like somebody else because you're costuming them. That's why a lot of us women, sisters, we're looking like each other. And because we're not brave enough to go on our own discovery journey where you can actually be yourself. You look like the next girl, you look like the next sister, because you're mimicking her. And the next sister is looking like such, because we're afraid to go on our own journey where you can be brave enough to look at yourself and be brave enough to love what you see. Because if you're not brave enough to care about yourself, you'd be lying every time you tell somebody you care about them. Because how can you say you care about them when you don't even care about yourself? When you got so many costumes on, so that I'm like, who is this talking to me right now? Because that costume is not yours. You're just giving me a program that has been embedded in your consciousness, not your subconscious, your program, in your autopilot space, where you're just regurgitating that. So if you can stop performing, because that will drain you, that you're probably stuck mostly because of the performing and just the costuming and just cosplaying. So many costumes. Don't perform for anybody. That has got to stop, because it's not working. If it's working, hey, if it's working, keep going. That could be your calling. But if it's not, then do something about it, because the calling is the voice that's telling you, hey, this is a good idea. And then you proceed, and tomorrow you're like, oh, 3 years later, you're like, hey, that did not go according to what I thought, because there was a calling. That was somebody else's assignment. That was not your assignment. You took the assignment and took it on. That's not even you. That's why it's so dangerous to perform and to wear costumes, because by you wearing costume, you're actually performing someone else's script. You're actually living somebody else's reality they've instructed, that they put together on their own for them to live, not yours. That's why you're having a discrepancy. There is a dispute between you and your actual self, where you're stuck day in, day out, because you're literally fighting what's the costume that you don't even have the codes for, because you have your own codes. Your own codes are the ones you have the answers for, because you know the codes. You created the code. So how can you not have the actual sequencing for you to be able to unlock each of those stages? The costumes have got to stop. The performative, which is when you start performing, you get to be yourself. And one thing about that, the people that are not performing, they can see. We can see who's performing or not, because there's an aura that you carry. There is a structure of energy that emits out when you know who you are. Otherwise, that aura will be very filthy and very dirty, because you're carrying so many masks with you that you don't even know you're carrying, because you're not still. You're not able to quiet your mind so that you can unpack and delete each of those masks, because you're performing, which is why you're drained, which is why you're kind of all over the place, because you're just collecting different scripts, you're putting it together that are not aligning with you. So you got to align with yourself first for you to be able to flow. Otherwise, you're going to keep collecting different scripts that are going to lead you to a state where you'll be more confused than before. Because this playground, this experiment, this earth, that's what it's for. You're meant to be firmly in who you are, because if not, somebody else will use you to perform in their reality. So are you performing in somebody else's reality, or is it yours? Remember that. Be you. Be you to the full. And you will never fall short. You will never regret the fact that you are yourself, and the fact that you are on that journey where you know you're coming as yourself. You know. And there will be so many alignments that will tell you, yeah, you did it. You took the initiative to disconnect from all the mask. Take off the mask. It will be effortless. You won't have to be drained from maintaining all of the characters that you think you have to perform as. Don't perform. When you stop performing, you get to be yourself. You become more comfortable. You'll become more enhanced in just your life in general. You get to show up as yourself, not as somebody else's mask. That's all. See you.